France will pull its 1,500 soldiers out of Niger by the end of the year, French President Emmanuel Macron said on Sunday. That's after the West African country's July coup. It's a huge blow to former colonial power France's influence, as well as counter-insurgency operations in the Sahel region.
Elle sera organisée dans le temps.
It will be organised over time, in the weeks to come, but it is the end of this cooperation, because we are not here to participate in political life, to be hostages in some way to the putschists.
His soldiers, when will they return?
De manière ordonnée.
They will return in an orderly manner in the coming weeks and months, and there we will consult with the putschists, because we want it to happen peacefully.
The move comes after weeks of pressure from Niger's junta and anti-French demonstrations. It will likely exacerbate Western concerns over Russia's expanding influence in Africa. The mercenary force Wagner is already present in neighbouring Mali following coups there. Until the military takeover, Niger had been a key security partner of France and the United States. They had used it as a base to fight insurgents linked to Al-Qaeda and Islamic State in the Sahel. Macron has refused to recognise the junta's authority and says he still regards President Mohamed Bazoum, currently held prisoner by the coup leaders, as Niger's legitimate leader. He has, he said, informed Bazoum of France's decision.
So, after all the back and forth argument between France and Niger, Emmanuel Macron has decided that for the good of everyone, they will pull out their troops and the ambassador from Niger. So, at least he has admitted that they've lost Niger and that the military junta in Niger is in control. I did not really understand what the whole problem was, because as far as I was concerned, France was a guest in Niger. France was invited into Niger. And if Niger thought that France was doing things that wasn't in their best interest and they wanted France to leave, France had to go. There was no point for France trying to undermine the government of Niger. There was no point of France trying to prove to the whole of the world how tough they are. There was no point for France trying to discredit the junta government in Niger. So I want us to go through this article that really explains what Emmanuel Macron said about the whole procedure on pulling out the troops and also on pulling out their embassy staff from Niger. So let's go through it together. The headline reads, France to pull troops out of Niger following the coup. Yeah, that France will pull out their, 1,500 troops from Niger following the coup a couple of months ago. France will pull its soldiers out of Niger following a July coup in the West African country, President Emmanuel Macron said on Sunday, dealing a huge blow to France's influence and counterinsurgency operations in the Sahel region. I really don't like when people say that France pulling out will impact the fight against insurgency groups in the Sahel, because France was there for 10 plus years, right? They came there, 2013, and they have been there ever since. And what did they do? How come the groups or this jihadist movement just got larger and larger, even though France was there in the name of fighting against these jihadists? France had first tier equipment. France had modern days gadget. France had advanced technological equipment. And how come they are unable to target these insurgency groups? Like the president of, I think, DR Congo said, these foreign boats in his country is just there to prolong the fight. That they are not actually there to fight against these jihadis. Because let's face it, right? Without this jihadist movement in the Sahel, countries will not allow foreign boats on their soil. So the only way these foreign boats, aka France, can be in the Sahel is the threat of jihadist movement. So do you think that they will eliminate this threat, knowing fully well that if they eliminate the threat, they also lose any reason to be there? Answer this question yourself. Let's continue. Macron said 1,500 troops would withdraw by the end of the year, and that France, the former colonial power of Niger, refused to be held hostage by the putschists. Emmanuel Macron is a big clown. So he is claiming that they won't be held hostage by the Niger military junta. No one wanted to hold you hostage, Emmanuel Macron. You didn't want to leave the country, even though the people asked you to go. How can you turn the story around and start saying that you won't accept blackmailing? You won't accept anyone to dictate policy for you. You won't accept people to tell you what to do, whereby you are the one who has refused to leave someone's country. Your ambassador was expelled, but you refused to withdraw him. You insist that he must stay in Niger. Only God knows what he is doing there. Only God knows why you would refuse to withdraw someone whom the home country has declared a persona non grata. Only God knows why. Let's continue. France's exile, which comes after weeks of pressure from the junta and popular demonstrations, is likely to exacerbate Western concerns over Russia's expanding influence in Africa. The Russian mercenary force, Wagner, already present in Niger's neighbor, Mali. So you can see that these people are not even worrying about the jihadist movement. They are not even worrying about the people in Niger. They are not even thinking that they pulling out might be difficult for Niger to tackle insurgency group. That's not what they are worrying about. All they are thinking about is Russia's influence in the Sahel. So their major concern is that if they pull out, Russia will just step in and fill the vacuum. But the most fundamental question that they are failing to ask themselves is that why are people asking them to go? Why are countries in the Sahel asking them to leave? Why is Mali asking MINUSMA to go? Why is DR Congo asking UN peacekeeping mission to go? Why did Burkina Faso kick out the French? And why is Niger kicking out the French? Why is no one asking themselves this question? Because if they did, they wouldn't be worrying about Russia's influence in the Sahel. They will be thinking about how to re-examine themselves and how to approach these countries in the Sahel with better deals that benefits this country and their people. But no one is thinking about that. All they talk about is how Russia will fill in the vacuum that will be left open by France and the United Nations. Let's continue. The French president has refused to recognize the junta as Niger's legitimate authority, but said Paris would coordinate troop withdrawal with the coup leaders. We will consult with the putschists because we want things to be orderly, Macron said in an interview with France TF1 and France 2 television stations. France's ambassador was also being pulled out and would return to the country in the next few hours. France's influence over its former colonies has waned in West Africa in recent years, just as popular vitriol has grown. Its forces have been kicked out of neighboring Mali and Burkina Faso since coups in those countries, reducing its role in the region-wide fight against deadly Islamic insurgencies. Until the coup, Niger had remained a key security partner of France and the United States, which have used it as a base to fight the Islamic insurgencies in West and Central Africa's wide Sahel region. So, my brothers and sisters, we can all see how things are unfolding in Niger. But the bottom line is France will pull out its troops and also their ambassador from the country. So finally, Niger has won. But you guys out there, what is your take on the remarks made by Emmanuel Macron? Is he right to say that France was just helping Niger fight insurgency groups in the Sahel, that France was not benefiting anything from Niger, that France was just being the good big brother to Niger? Or was France milking Niger? Share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And also, don't forget to like this video, share this video, follow our Facebook page, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel, because little bit of good way, like the one you're doing just now, help us a lot, and we shall forever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.